Hi guys, Darth Deuce here with another action figure review. Taking a look today at a Mcfarlane figure, and it is the recently released Warhammer 40K Primaris Hellblaster, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Warhammer 40K. Mcfarlane's got the license to do action figures for Warhammer, and it's been pretty cool so far. We've gotten a few figures. I've always wanted Space Marine action figure. And full disclosure for the rest of this video and right at the beginning, right off the bat, I'm an extremely casual Warhammer fan. I have very, very, very limited knowledge on the lore. I've looked into it a little bit, but I don't know a lot. There's a shitload of lore for Warhammer 40K. I'm going to say stuff in this video that I'm definitely going to be wrong about. Just a full warning right off the bat. I don't know a whole lot about. I know a little bit, but I don't know a whole lot about 40K. I just really love the look of the Space Marines and the different characters in that franchise. They make for awesome looking action figures. Big super soldier space guys in power armor. What's not to like about that? Anyways, this is the most recent one. They've released a previous Space Marine. That was the Primaris Assault Intercessor. I think that's right, which I do have. I never reviewed it, but I do have that. They've also done Necron Warrior, which I have. The Battle Sister, which is from the wave this guy comes from, which I do not have, and I don't know if I'm going to get. There's artist proofs of like every figure they've done so far. And there's a gold label figure coming out soon. But these figures are actually really good. You're definitely getting your money's worth with these guys. You're paying what, like $20 USD. They're 25, 30 CAD, depending where you're getting it from and whatnot. And yeah, you're getting your money's worth. This guy's a hefty piece of plastic. You pick him up, he's got weight to him. He's big, and surprisingly articulated, for being Mcfarlane and for being a bulky character. There are definitely his limitations. If you bought the previous Space Marine from the first wave, you'll know what to expect when you get this guy. He's pretty much exactly the same in terms of how he's built, how it's engineered. However, he does use more new parts than I was expecting. So first off, just taking a look, we've got, I believe this is the Blood Ravens Space Marines. I could be wrong on that. I'm pretty sure that's who they are, or who this guy is from. He's got the red armor with the blood and the black wings, blue helmet for some reason. Warhammer, for whatever reason, it's common for the armor to be one color but the helmet to be the other. I know on the Assault Intercessor, which we'll look at later, that red helmet is because he's a sergeant, I think, but I have no idea why this one's a blue helmet. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Taking a look, the details there, it's pretty nice. It's a different sculpt from the previous helmet, and I'll do a comparison later. I'm just going to zoom in right now so we can take a closer look at all the details. And yeah, it looks really good. You got like the vents, the red, there's this little bit of silver and extra sculpt around this eye. Maybe it's supposed to be like a marksman, sort of has extended scope or something like that. You got this little pipe there, and you got some pipes on the sides as well, and a nice silver paint. All the paint apps that are on the figure are pretty cleanly applied, and the helmet looks badass like they always do. And then you've got the rest of the figure. I like the shade of red, it looks really good. You've got the chest emblem here with the blood, little drop of blood symbol, and you got the wings, I think look really cool. And then on the side, you kind of got the same thing going on the shoulder plate. On this side, you've got this little yellow marking, which might denote which chapter he belongs to, but I'm not 100% sure on that. He's got a little like blood like charm on his or decoration ornament on his left waist armor, which is cool. And definitely not like hyper detailed figure, but he doesn't have to be. And if you want, you can, if you're a customizer, you can customize these to your heart's content. They're kind of meant for that. You got some pouches on the back, decent sculpted detail. You got like a lightning bolt almost sort of emblem on the right knee there. Big ass armor. Sculpt detail's cool. Around the armor, you've got these nice little dings, scratches, and whatnot in the armor. So that's pretty cool. On the back, you have the backpack or jetpack, whatever this is supposed to be. It is a separate piece from the figure in the packaging. You just clip it on. You can remove it. It doesn't come off. It comes off pretty easily, but it stays on nice and securely, locks in pretty good, so you don't got to really worry about that. Like it won't, I'm holding, the figure's pretty heavy, I'm holding it from the jetpack, it's not just falling off, so it's pretty good, yeah, he looks good. I don't have really anything to complain about in terms of the actual look. Now, zooming him back out here, take a look at the articulation. He has a ball joint at the very top of the head, but there's also a joint at the neck where this kind of disc is at the base of the neck. So that kind of moves more down there than it does in the head. But you can look up a decent amount. He looks down somewhat. There's a little bit of pivot. You can get a bit of pivot going on, and there's rotation. You rotate all the way around should you want to do that. The shoulder plates are in a ball joint, so they do shift and move around a bit, shift up, and they move somewhat out of the way. You have that sort of dumbbell joint inside the torso that all the Mcfarlane figures tend to have, so you do get a bit of butterfly movement, although it's not a lot because of the armor. You can, okay, well, I did not know it was going to do that. Apparently the armor comes off easily. That's, well, not super easily, but it comes off. The arms do move up, but the arm wants to pop off, so I didn't have that issue with my other figure. This arm doesn't have that issue, but the arms move up about that far, so it's definitely limited. But it's a bit understandable because of the shoulder. You shift it up, you can get it about that far. Not bad. There is a swivel at the bicep, which you already saw. Double hinges at the elbows, which actually move quite well. That's better than some of the multiverse figures that don't wear armor at all, which is kind of crazy. And you do have the hinges at the wrists, so you can go up and down, or you can rotate the joint. You can go in and out if you want that as well. There's a ball joint at the torso and at the base, at the waist there, I do believe. So you can crunch them back a fair amount, although it does get gappy. You can crunch it forward a bit, and you can pivot it a little bit, and you can rotate it. There's really not much movement down that joint at the waist, pretty much all of the upper. The backpack is a hunk of plastic. I do find it will maybe sometimes weigh down the figure, something to keep in mind. Hinges at the hips move out about that far, which isn't bad considering how much armor he's wearing. They kick out a decent amount. They also kick back, further than I would expect, honestly. There's a little bit of rotation there. It's nothing too crazy. Double hinges at the knees move pretty good considering the bulk of the armor. And the ankles have hinges. They've moved down quite a bit. They move up a little bit, and there is a little bit of pivot. Nothing too crazy because, again, the armor does hinder it. So obviously you're not going to be getting crazy poses out of this guy, but okay, this arm is actually starting to piss me off. But aside from that being said, rather, it still poses pretty well considering he's a big guy in armor, and this is kind of a big, I don't know if this is just my copy. I want to say it's just my copy, but yeah, his arm's coming off way too easily. It's kind of being a pain in the ass, but yeah, so pretty cool. In terms of accessories, he doesn't come with a ton of stuff. You do get your standard Mcfarlane toys, black display base with Warhammer 40K on it. These are nice. I'm happy they include these with basically all their figures now. I think figures should come with figure stands. It makes posing better in some cases. However, in the case of the Space Marines, they really don't need the display bases. Their feet are so huge that they're very stable in a multitude of poses without needing those display base, but still good to have it. And of course, he needs a weapon. He does come with this. I want to say this is a heavy plasma incinerator. I could be wrong. It's a plasma gun of some sort. It's a big gun that shoots, and it's pretty cool. It's quite big. It's, again, another chunk of plastic. Got some silver paint, the black, which I want to say is plastic, but maybe it's paint. It's more matte. It's more silver there, and you do have a bit of blue for the, I don't know, energizing of the kind of emulate the plasma and the charge of the gun, I guess. And you can put it in he has a trigger hand. You can put it in there. You kind of twist and finagle it a bit, but you can get the finger and the trigger finger in the finger guard, and you can have him hold it. And it's pretty cool that this is a big hunk of plastic, but the arm can actually support the weight. So that's fairly sturdy, because this is definitely not a light. It's not like super heavy, but it's not light either. So that's cool. But you do get an open hand with this Marine, and that is so you can get him in two-handed poses if this thing doesn't want to keep coming off. I'm not gonna get like a crazy pose. You can get some decent rifle holding poses, but oh my god, man. Alright, so I got him holding the gun two hands, and the left open hand is more just a support hand. It doesn't actually securely grip the barrel, you just kind of rest the gun on that hand, and that works perfectly fine, really well. And as you can see, you get him in the two-handed pose. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So I'm getting him straightened out. We'll take a couple comparison looks at him. And first and foremost, I think we'll take a look at how he looks with the other previous Space Marine that came out. He is with the Assault Intercessor. And yeah, obviously they look like they use a lot, but there's actually some slight differences. Obviously the helmets are different, the backpacks are the same, the torsos, the upper torsos are different, the mid-sections are the same, the groin pieces are the same, the waist armor here is different, the thigh armor is the same. This one actually is different to leg armor. The knees have this scratching sculpted into the armor. This one does not have that. This guy's a different forearm because this guy has the cross going on here. And also has a different hand, of course. The shoulder armors are both different. This guy doesn't have that shield thing on it, and this one just is design's a bit different, and obviously you have that part on there as well. So this guy actually, surprisingly, uses a decent amount of new parts. I was not expecting that. I was expecting a lot more reuse, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to bring this guy back in later because there's something I want to do. But I want to get the rest of the comparisons over with pretty quick because I am taking a little too long here. Here he is with the Mcfarlane from the previous wave, which I don't have standing straight up, but that's okay. I had him standing straight up. I think the Mcfarlane might be a little taller, but these guys look really cool together. The Marine can destroy him and kill him and do all that good stuff. Here's another Mcfarlane figure, DC Multiverse Red Hood. And you can see, yeah, they stand actually almost the same height. He's only a little bit taller. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like the Marines are supposed to be fairly taller than your average Joe, which Red Hood, I think, standard like 6 foot tall kind of person. So I think these guys might be a little on the short side in that regard, but that's okay because I don't display them with my multiverse, so I don't really care. And here he is with a 6-inch figure, and I think that if you wanted to fudge these guys and do a 6-inch display, you definitely could do that as long as it's accurate. These guys are supposed to be bigger. I think they are supposed to be. I think that works pretty good. So yeah. Yeah. Last thing I wanted to do is, as you can see, they have two different colored helmets, but red, blue. So I just want to swap them and give you guys a look at what that looks like. And here they have their helmets swapped, and I think this looks really good. I'll be honest, I prefer the Marines to look uniform in terms of having all the same color, the different color helmets. On the blue helmet with the red armor, the red helmet with the blue armor, it looks kind of weird to me. I know that at least in the case of this figure, the red helmet's because of his rank. He's got like the red skulls, I think supposed to mean sergeant or something, and the red helmet signifies sergeant or veteran or something like that. So this technically might not be accurate, but this is probably how I might actually display them because I like the uniformity. This blue matches perfectly with this one. This red is slightly lighter than this red, but because there's so much red going on, you can't really notice it. So I think it still looks really good. But yeah, I'm going to swap them back and give quick final thoughts. So yeah, overall this is a pretty awesome figure. I have no glaring issues. Obviously the arm coming off is kind of a pain. When it's coming off a bunch of times in review, I didn't put it in all the way, so I put it in all the way and it's a bit better now. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. For the price you're paying for these guys, I think you're definitely getting your money's worth. They're big, they're bulky, they're hefty, they have good paint apps and details, they have decent accessories, they are decently articulated, nothing crazy, but I think you're getting your money's worth for you're getting what it's worth, I think, in terms of the articulation with the price point. Yeah, it's a really good figure, and if you're a fan of Warhammer, or even if you're just a fan of the look of these guys like I am more or less, I would definitely recommend picking this guy up because it's a good, great figure that's definitely worth the money if you're interested in it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if I butchered a ton of Warhammer lore. My bad. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a huge Warhammer guy. I like Warhammer, but I'm not a huge Warhammer kind of person. So I apologize if I butchered anything. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one.